Hey YouTube. Well, I voted. I got my little Georgia peach. I am a Georgia voter. You know, I was number 361 that came in and voted today. Now, this is not a big community where I live, so my subdivision alone has 170 something homes in the subdivision, something like that. I think that was someone told me, maybe 100 something, 149. I know it's 100 and something, but anyway. So it's election day, and I voted, and now it's the waiting game. Ooh, I feel so chills up my spine. Now I know my other videos, I know it loaded by now. It was pretty long. So now I'm off to get my car washed, and then I'm going back home to work on my resume, clean up the house, do all those things. But when I went in there to vote, it was a black guy in there, and he came in to vote, and he couldn't, there was confusion regarding whether or not he could show a copy of his driver's license. And his driver's license was suspended, and they took it. The state of Georgia took his driver's license. So he had a copy of his driver's license, and he wanted to go to vote. So the young lady at the counter that worked the poll, she didn't know whether or not it was acceptable to use a paper copy of the driver's license that expired to vote. So she had to go to the supervisor and ask whether or not it was allowed. So I intervened, nosy me. I said, you could use that to vote. It doesn't have to be a valid driver's license, meaning even if you had a ID and it expired and you had it, you could still vote with it. But the thing was, he made a copy of it. So it made me kind of wonder, why did he not have another form of ID? I don't know. I just think that a driver's license should not be the only thing you should have to vote. I know if you have a passport, or if you have a government ID, or if you was in the military and they give you a card for you if you're in the military or ex-military. What else? A state ID. I want to say a school ID, something like that. But I just feel that it seems kind of funny, because to me it's like, what if you don't drive? What if you don't have a car and you don't have an ID? That's why it's important to educate yourself about these things. It's like everything you need is an ID to vote, especially this election year. I feel that a lot of people in communities, they always tell people to go out there and vote, go and register to vote, go out there and vote, But it's those little things that we don't become aware of in the process of voting and having a say in government, elections, and decision making. Now, I thought that on the ballot it would have had the expansion to the ballot to expand MARTA. That wasn't on the ballot, so it kind of fooled me, because that was one of my main things that I had about expansion of MARTA. But because MARTA is not here in Stone Mountain and it's not in this area, then it wasn't on the referendum. It wasn't on the DeKalb County referendum where I lived. So that affected thousands and thousands of people to voice whether or not they want to expand MARTA to even in this part of Stone Mountain. But since it wasn't on the ballot, then we have no say as to whether or not to expand the transportation system. And that's unfortunate because, I was torn between expansion of MARTA or not to expand it. But since it's not even on the ballot in the district I live, then that means MARTA would never come out here. No bus line, most definitely no train line. So that's unfortunate because a lot of people do not have to. A lot of people don't have ways of having a car and getting out there. So this just proves to me that if you have money, influence, and if you are certain groups of people, things are going to be more convenient for you. So, but now it's time. The waiting game begins. We're going to see what happens. History will be made, whether it be for the positive or whether it be for the negative. We shall see what happens. Will it be Hillary or will it be Trump? Will we enter another 4 years? Will we enter a 4-year of continuing prosperity and upward mobility? Will President Obama's legacy be continued and it will benefit all? And whoever becomes the next president, what type of changes is going to happen in this country? What's going to happen? When President Clinton, William Jefferson Clinton was in office, we were in a period of prosperity. Things were good. We were at a surplus. And then everything went well for African Americans. There was no kind of issues and problems. I mean, there was some, but, let's not forget, we were calling President Clinton, William J. Clinton, we were calling him, oh, he's a black president. Now, everybody forgot about that. We were toting him as the, token black. No, I don't say token black. Let me take that back. We were classifying him, giving him that he was the closest of being a black president. Everything was holly. Everything was happy and joyous. So now we're going to have 2 presidents in office. Madam President and former President Clinton in office. But I'm going to tell you one thing. They may have called him Slick Willie and everything else. But you know what? President William J. Clinton, he was a very good president. I don't care what he did.